Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Get Back Podcast. I'm your host, Damian Dustin, here with
Aiden Jones. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a minute.
I know, episode 64 of the Get Back Podcast. Back from a little vacation. We like the vacation. We like
the vacation. He decided to leave me here.
True.
Sorry.
You held it down, though, with the clips. And I'll tell you what, I did miss a little bit, but I've caught myself back up.
Yes, sir.
I think it's only right that we start off with NFL because there's a lot going on in the NFL right now.
And it's creeping up. I mean, what we got, like 1 or 2 weeks left before preseason really hits us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Preseason is going to be awesome. But nonetheless, let's start right into it. First of all, I just want to talk about training camp for all the teams. High intensity for just about all 32 teams here.
Yeah.
We've seen fights. We've seen big hits. We've seen players.
battles. We've seen a lot. We have seen a lot.
Let's start off with the fights real quick. I feel like let's start off on the Cincinnati side. We saw Jamar Chase throwing some punches in practice.
Yeah.
We like that or do we not like that? I want to start off there.
I'm going to say I like it because training camp fights are not something to be super serious about. It happens every single year. It's got a little bit softer, actually. I think they used to fight a little bit more, but it happens every single year. I mean, every single team. I mean, who do we just see on the Chiefs? Who was it? Kenneth Walker and somebody else, like he had threw a little jab at him. Like that happens every single day in training camp, every day.
Yeah, I like it too. To your point, I think it's just intensity starting to get high as we creep into the season, especially with to your point, the Kenneth Walker thing, the Chiefs. I think they got their own thing going on with the Pat Mahomes situation, but
everybody a little tensed up. It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
100%. But speaking of training camp, we are now seeing the players on video. We're finally seeing the body of work that they have put together over the culmination of the offseason. Patrick Mahomes, I feel like, is the star of our viewing of training camp so far.
Yeah.
He got the brace on. The throw is still there. The mobility,
that's not going to leave.
It'll never leave. But the mobility does seem a little hindered. We haven't hit full pads yet. Do you think Pat's going to come back 100% himself, or do you think some of that mobility is going to digress a little bit?
I think about 10% of mobility will leave, but it's guaranteed, most likely. I mean, you have Kenneth Walker now, though. It's not like you have to be a really mobile quarterback, especially for Patrick Mahomes, who has, to me, still maybe the best ball in the league. Like, he still knows how to throw the ball. He knows how to find his target. So it's not like you really need it as much. Does it help? Yes. But do you need it? Not as much as you did last year or the years prior.
I agree. And to your point, I think Kenneth Walker, the type of back that he is, not only is he a great running back, but he's also a receiving threat too. I think if Patrick does somehow lose some of that speed, lose some of his angles, the way that he evades out the pocket, I think he does have a good safety net in Kenneth Walker to help him.
Yeah.
My problem with the Chiefs, though, I think, is going to be the receiving core. Obviously, you have four. Four is free. This is the first year where he's completely free. And you obviously have Xavier Worthy, who's coming off of, I'll say, a down year, probably due to injuries.
Oh, he had a down year. Thanks, fantasy God. He had a down year. Yes, he did. But like you said, he has looked pretty decent in training camp. Yeah, it hasn't looked bad. I think his speed that we saw in his rookie year is creeping back. Like, I think people forget that he was injured. Like, it wasn't like he had the full year to really go last year. He's coming off an injury where I think now he is fully himself again. So, I mean, this is going to be pretty decent. Will I pick him back up in fantasy? Maybe not. Maybe not. I won't make that mistake. But I think he'll be decent this year.
I want to stay on the wide receiver conversation because I know we kind of just talked about the Chiefs a little bit. I do want to circle to another team on the other side of the pond. San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, the injury to Ricky Pearsall's PCL is still lingering, which has forced their hand, and they have now signed the former 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel back on a 1-year, $7 million deal. Do you love it or do you hate it?
For $7 million, I love it. I'm not upset with that. I think for that team, they needed somebody like that, especially like a vet. And yeah, he's only 30 years old, but it still looks a little bit older. And I think he still can do what he needs to do. Like on the Commanders, he was not a bad receiver. I think him and Brock Purdy already have some of chemistry also, so it's not terrible knowing what you've lost in Brandon Aiyuk also.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love it too. And I think a guy like Deebo, not only do you sign him because of his talent, but I think you sign him because of the familiarity that he has with the offense. I think Deebo is a perfect wide receiver for Brock Purdy and the things that Brock Purdy struggles at. Obviously, we know sometimes Brock does struggle to get the ball downfield. I think Debo being one of those yak guys
And
who,
he's like a Swiss Army.
yeah,
He's a Swiss Army knife.
who when he was with the 49ers, he was one of the best yards after catch receivers.
He was, but he's also only had one season with over 1K. I know that that's not his main thing, but it's only been one season out of all the seasons. And what did he get last year? What, 600, I think?
He had 72 receptions for 727 yards, 5 touchdowns. Obviously, we could say a down year, but I honestly wouldn't blame Debo for that. I think that is more so just because the Commanders were flexing through QBs like it was a deck of cards. I mean, going through JD, Mariota, I mean, that just continuous switch was
Question
crazy.
is this going to be a complete flip over? Does Brandon Aiyuk somehow find his way to the Commanders with Debo coming back to the 49ers?
I'm not really sure. I think we obviously talked about, do they just go ahead and release him and dump that hard cap, or do they find a trade suitor? And I think right now, Brandon Aiyuk has kind of just made the situation so much worse for him.
Man got CT from a knee injury, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on, man.
For me, it's kind of like, I really don't know what the future holds. I think the only time we've seen a player this outlandish is AB, and we obviously know what happens with AB at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Debo signing, obviously a good signing. They still have Mike Evans. I feel like we kind of just glazed past the fact.
I said it 2 weeks ago. I think Mike is going to have a great year. I feel like in that type of offense, what is it, a West Coast?
Yeah.
That will be pretty decent to see Mike Evans in that situation. Like, I think like this will be obviously a breakout year for Mike, who's had just multiple 1K seasons, but I think we're gonna see like him really rejuvenate his season. His career.
I think so too, and I think it's gonna be in a different way than we're really thinking. I don't think he's gonna catch these same balls that he was catching in Tampa. I think he's gonna be more of a comeback guy. Yeah. He's not gonna be running these fades or these goes anymore at his age. I think he's gonna be running these intelligent routes, and they're gonna kind of put him out on that X.
Yeah,
and they're going to hope that Brock hits him. He's going to kind of be their third down wide receiver.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this injury to Ricky Pearsall is going to hurt the team tremendously. I think Ricky kind of proved that he was the number one receiver when he did play. And for him to potentially miss a large chunk, if not maybe this whole entire season with this injury, it kind of just shakes up the whole way that I look at the 49ers right now.
You're losing so much youth, though. Like, the 49ers are one of the oldest teams in the league. I mean, now you have George Kittle coming off an injury last year, who's also higher in age. Chris McCaffrey was 30-something, like that, like 33 or something like that. You have Debo, like that's your main three, and then you have Mike Evans, who's nowhere near younger. Like, I mean, like it's pretty old offensive core.
So let me ask you something. So if and obviously they did draft Sterling. I know they did draft Sterling, who I think could probably make it.
They say he's been playing pretty good in training camp.
Yes, and the thing is, they're going to need him to make an immediate impact, because if he doesn't, I think that the offense is going to suffer a little bit. Yeah. Now, here's where my question begins. Obviously, we haven't heard this name being brought up with this team, and I know they did just sign Debo. I would have thought that maybe you try to go after Stephon Diggs. I think the year that Diggs had last year, now knowing that, all the legal stuff is behind him now and he's ready to simply just play ball, I think Stephon Diggs probably would have been a better wide receiver.
Like, because Debo obviously took that $7 million for 1 year. How much does Stephon want?
For him to be holding out this long, I don't think he's going to get some obscure contract.
Yeah, but he also thinks that he's I don't know about a 1B, but he also thinks that he's a really great second option.
I think he probably would be a first option. He could probably, him and Mike could probably be 1A, 1B on that team. If Ricky's not healthy, because I am still a little skeptical about Debo. Debo is 30 years old.
Yeah,
and when being 30 years old as a wide receiver, I mean that's like LeBron on the Sixers. Yeah, we'll get into that later, but I mean that's what that's basically like, and especially Debo, who's not even primarily a wide receiver. He is that Swiss Army knife. To your point, he's gonna be in the backfield, line up at different spots. I just wonder how much they're going to get out of Debo versus what they could have gotten out of somebody.
Yeah,
out of Stephon. I think Stephon would have been a better fit.
I think Stephon will find a team, though. Like, I don't think he's going to hold out that much longer. I think the teams are looking into it. But he also made a good point. A lot of teams already have that second option. Like, a lot of teams already have the 1 and 2 option. I mean, even if I look at the Cardinals, Michael Wilson and Marvin, like, if you want to look at that, like, even the bad teams now have a 1 and a 2. So he can find a spot, but it won't be as easy as it possibly was maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do want to circle back a little bit. We kind of were talking about the Commanders, the whole Brandon Aiyuk situation. It also brings me back to this player again. Now, we have heard Stephon Diggs in communications with the Commanders. He obviously went to college, University of Maryland. This would be a homecoming if he were to go. If this whole Brandon Aiyuk situation becomes even messier, which God knows I didn't know it could, but apparently after Kyle Shanahan, the whole accident.
And the man beefing with JD5. How you gonna beef with the quarterback that's there?
Exactly, and his mom, which is crazy.
Bro.
So now we're looking at Stephon Diggs to potentially join the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Would you like that signing?
That wouldn't be a bad signing. I think after losing Debo too, that'll be pretty good, especially for Jaden to come back. You want to at least have one person he can really count on. Obviously, you already have some other people over there, Scary Terry, but you still at least want somebody else. So that'll be pretty decent, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing that I would be kind of questioning is to your point, they do have Scary Terry. I think they need a big threat red zone receiver. And even though Terry is a good spec catch player, I think you need a big body guy, a guy that, sometimes we did see Washington struggle to score touchdowns in the red zone. I just don't think they really have that red zone threat, whether it's at tight end. Obviously, they had an old Zach Ertz, which not going to really do that much. And I think health too. But nonetheless, I think Stephon Diggs would be a good, I'll say, bandage to the wound of what's going on with the Washington Commanders right now if they don't land Brandon Aiyuk. Because I still think Aiyuk got some in the tank. He's crazy as shit.
Not a bad take. I want to talk about an actual division. I want to talk about the NFC South.
Talk to me.
What the hell is going on over there? Training camp has been hell for basically all 4 teams. Obviously, the Saints. They're starting DT. He just tore his ACL. Taysom Hill's left. Look at the Panthers. They have their edge rusher who just tore his ACL also. Starting left tackle has blood clots. And your 3rd round rookie has now had season-ending surgery. That's already pretty bad. That's actually terrible. The Falcons may have Matt Ryan suit up in 2026 because I almost said the wrong word. Michael Penix.
That's how he's been playing.
Hey.
That's how he's been playing.
Michael Penix, we have no clue what's going to happen with him. And now Tua has back injuries. Like now you're really in heat. I think now they have a D2, Division 2 quarterback that's possibly going to have to start for them, at least in preseason, which is not saying that you want someone to get the first rush. Not saying he's bad, but we don't even know how that looks. And then we look at possibly the main problem with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Vita Vea is out. He requested a trade. And now Baker Mayfield is pissed. Baker Mayfield is heated. He had a pretty good saying. He said, if you waited this long to pay for your quarterback, it's only going to get worse because I'm going to have a great year. Not a good year, a great year. Baker is somebody who bets on his doubters. He has like a cycle. Like usually he'll be like, I play crappy. Social media will trash on me. Then I come back and then I trash on all my doubters. And then it kind of like, it goes back in a cycle every single time. What do you think is going to happen for the NFC South, man?
Well, man, there's a lot to break down there, NFC South. I think the NFC South right now is on flames. And I think there's really only one team that I think kind of, in my opinion, kind of just stacks up top, and that's Carolina.
Yeah.
I think we kind of talked about that earlier, a couple episodes back, about how we thought Carolina was going to be kind of that team that would probably win the division just because they're being dealt the best hand out of a division right now that's just being ripped to shreds, to your point. Moving back to the Tampa situation, Baker's betting on himself, and you have to respect that.
He always does.
He asked for $50 million a year was on the table, and he wanted more. I think that's a little crazy in my opinion. I just think the last.
Is it crazy?
It is a little crazy.
Is it crazy?
I do.
Out of all the starting quarterbacks that's not on rookie contracts, he makes the least amount of money. Is that really crazy?
50 mil is a lot of money. And I think too, because you also have to look at it this way. I think a lot of the teams that are willing to pay their quarterback that money believe that they already have a contending roster. When I look at Tampa, you lose Mike Evans. You're going to have Chris Godwin back, but he's not really 100% after that leg injury. Emike Egbuka, we still have questions about him after the second half of that season.
With injuries also. But I mean, if you look at last year, we talked about this when we had that pretty decent clip. Last year was all filled with injuries, and he still somehow made it work at least in the first 75% of the season. Like the last 4 games, You could take it how you want it, blah 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 blah. But he still played good.
100%.
Only thing I'm a little worried about is that now, if you don't pay him, and say you place a tag on him, how much is a tag? It's not like 50. Like he would have to get 51 million, right, for a tag.
I'm not sure.
Either way, it would basically
almost
be the same exact thing. So you're gonna place a tag and then screw yourself again. That's not a good look. My thing, though, as a Baker fan who has seen him since the very start of as a Browns fan, this is basically like the most, not even the similar. This is almost the same situation that he went through with the Browns. He took a pay cut. He literally had to pay us $3.5 million to get a trade. We ended up trading him for a pick that we don't even remember. It was a 2024 Panthers pick that was so low that we had no clue what it was. I have a feeling it's possibly going to be the same as that thing where he bets on himself, may not have the best year. Like you said, the team is not a contender team. And then you're kind of stuck in the hole now after having this offseason shenanigans.
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from. And I think for Tampa, they're going to kind of have to learn as we go. This is a learn as we go situation.
Yeah.
Because you obviously know Baker's not going to hold out. He is going to play. Now, two things can happen. Baker can either shoot the lights out and play fantastic, and they are going to have to pay him that money because you're going to assume that Baker is going to lead them to wins. Or it could go opposite. That simply the roster's just not, in my opinion, the roster's not good enough to contend. From what I see, especially without Vita Vea, their defense, I don't love their
defense won't be bad though this year.
It won't. I don't love their secondary though. Their secondary is not the greatest. Aside from Winfield Jr., their secondary still has some gaps to it.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if this team doesn't make the playoffs, you almost, I don't want to say have to let Baker walk, but Baker may be playing somewhere else next year. And I think,
and he'll be making money if he does. If he plays good and you could have got him for the cheaper amount at 50 this year, he's gonna make it more next year. And then that's where he really will try to stunt.
And I think a team that I'm kind of looking at for Baker next year would probably be like a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers who has already said that this is going to be his last year, I think the Steelers are going to be looking for a quarterback. And the problem is because they're not going to draft one, because we're going to assume they're going to try to win some games. And I do believe they will win some games how they did last year. They're not going to have a top 5 draft pick to select.
They're not, but they also drafted someone this year in Drew Aller, who I think if you have
who has a blown knee though.
Yeah, I feel you, but it's not like he's going to play a lot this year. This is all for next year. Like for next year, what did they even talk about? Like they're basically rebuilding Drew. Like he's going to be a complete different player.
Yeah, but I think Drew is such an experimental project. I genuinely think that's why they got him so late, because there was a no risk, high reward if he does end up being good.
Okay, would you rather do that, or would you rather take the Rams situation where we know this could be Matthew Stafford's last year, so you pick up a quarterback that early in Ty Simpson?
I think Ty Simpson's a much better quarterback than Drew Aller. From a pure passing standpoint, and also
it's not that much of a difference.
And also to the way I kind of look at it is the Rams have such a structure where let's say Matthew Stafford misses a game or two with like an injury just because of age or whatnot. I think Ty Simpson could have success just because he has an insane offense to go with.
So if we switch it around, if it was Drew, you don't think that he would be able to work with that Rams offense?
I think Drew is such a raw prospect. I think the offense that they ran at Penn State was so exotic and to his needs.
That's why I said they're rebuilding Drew. Like they're like everything that Penn State does for a quarterback is almost nothing that you can really use in the NFL. That's why they don't have that much success in the NFL.
And that's why I don't think he'll have success in the NFL. And that's why I think that they'll have to look at a guy like Baker Mayfield who has established himself.
I think training with Aaron Rodgers, you get to see him play. Even in his last year, you're picking up a lot of knowledge. As a Steelers hater, I think that they won't be terrible with Drew Aller next year. I think that they're going to give him a chance. I know you also have the old Ohio State quarterback also. Like, it's not like you have no options. It's not like you're waiting to see what somebody else can do after Aaron Rodgers retires.
And not just because you said that, I think Will Howard's better than Drew Aller. Anyway, I think Will Howard would start over.
Too late.
And I think too that with the torn ACL, it wasn't like it was a complete tear of his. He completely blew out his knee, and his whole thing was his athleticism. We know he has the arm strength.
He can still do that ball,
but he doesn't have the accuracy panned down yet. I just think it would be interesting to see a guy like Baker take the mantle of Aaron Rodgers after he retires. But nonetheless, that would be an interesting situation. Moving on to the Falcons, to your point, other quarterback situation going on.
Matt Ryan. Suit up, man.
You got the back problems to Tua Tagovailoa. He returned to practice on Thursday, obviously, and in my opinion, I thought he looked good. I thought he had some zip to the ball. Michael Penix still out for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
I think we know where this is trending. I think this is trending to Tua Tagovailoa being the starting quarterback week 1. And listen, I think Tua can have success. And I think something that's also going to help him is guys like Kyle Pitts, Bijan. You have star playmakers on the team that, I mean, last year they were used to having a lefty quarterback anyway. So this isn't going to be a crazy transition for them. And I do think Tua provides more of a mature element where this is also a fresh start for him. And I think he's going to make it known that he's going to try to bounce back from all his struggles in Miami. Do I think that this is going to be a playoff team? No. I just don't think so. I just think at some point Tua will sell like he always does. And the Michael Penix situation, I mean, we don't even know if he's going to play.
And I think he's looking on his last strike. This was almost his last strike. I mean, he's had some offseason troubles. He's had troubles in the actual locker room. Like, it's not looking too good for my boy Michael, man. It's not. And I was pretty excited to see him actually come to the league too, but it's not looking too good.
And here's my hot take too. Like I said, I kind of alluded to the fact that Tua might have a good year this year, but I'm going to hold my enthusiasm there. I say at some point in the season, Cooper Rush starts for the Atlanta Falcons. And that's not even a hot take. I think Cooper Rush starts at some point, whether it's because of injury, whether it's because Tua thrown his third interception in the third quarter. Something's going to happen. And I just don't listen. I'm just not a huge Kevin Stefanski guy offensively.
Hey, man. Me neither. Hey, man. Me neither. But what about the Panthers? Like I said, like they have basically 3, I would say, starters that are now hurt. Obviously, they're edge rusher who just tore his ACL, left tackle who has a blood clot, and now your rookie who was out.
Yeah, Chris Brazzell who did tear his LCL.
That's a hit. I know. A couple weeks ago, I said they're my sleeper team. This kind of takes a little bit away from what I said.
Turning you off.
It kind of hurts a little bit because they had something brewing over there. Like they had something really, really going over there.
They did, and I think that they do still have something brewing just because of the development of the other players that they have in the building. I look at guys like Teodoro McMillan. I think I said his name right. Whatever. McMillan, I look at him to have a big second year.
Yeah.
I look at his connection with Bryce Young to hopefully make Bryce Young better. You do lose Rico Dowdle, who was huge in their success last year when they did go on that little run.
Chuba he won't be Rico, but I think he will have a good year this year.
I think so too. To your point, the offensive line and the defense right now, those injuries are very, very concerning.
They're
because
vital.
It's almost like that's kind of what got you there.
Yeah.
You had a decent. The 2 years ago, the narrative was Bryce Young has no time.
Yeah.
You finally give Bryce Young some time, and you don't have that bad of a season. You actually go to the playoffs and make a game of the Rams.
Oh, you made a game.
Yes, you made a game of it.
Came down to the last couple seconds. You made a game.
So for me, it's just I want to see what this offensive line looks like to begin the season before I kind of make my predictions. But I'm going to stay on that Carolina train. I think that they probably still have the highest chance to win the division. To your point, Chuba. They got guys. Coker at wide receiver. They simply just got guys who I think can develop into even higher roles than they already have.
Okay, I want to touch on something, and I hope this doesn't come off crazy.
Oh God.
I want to talk about the Cowboys.
Oh,
Dak Prescott, after calling this whole offense the Gotti of the league, best offense of the league, Dak Prescott will be the MVP this year. Dak Prescott will lead the Cowboys to possibly I don't want to be hot, but it could be the first year where we finally can see this the Cowboys surpass and go to the Super Bowl. That's how much I believe into this offense and this team.
Wow. That was a lot for me to take in right there.
That's crazy, apparently. That's crazy, apparently.
You have hopped on the Gotti train. The greatest offense in the league.
Look at their offense. Javonte Williams is running. You still have Pickens and CD
and
playing their parts, and Turpin.
Jake Ferguson, too.
And you have Dak on the ball. Dak can have an MVP season. I'm talking about clean 4K, maybe 45, 50 tutty type of season. Yes.
An MVP.
And MVP, like bro, he's going to go off this year, yeah.
So Okay. First of all, that's crazy. I totally disagree. I don't
Okay.
think he's going to win MVP. I don't think he's going to sniff.
Who has a
50.
better offensive? Who has a better offensive core right now in
think
the
the Rams.
whole league?
I think the Rams. Probably just because they got the O-line, too, to go with it. They have 2 running backs. You got 3 receivers. I mean,
I could say 1A, 1B.
wow. And you know what? That's fine, too. But I guess my only thing would be, yes, they do have a good offense. And we've seen them put up numbers.
Caleb Downs.
We've seen them.
Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, man. Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, man. I don't know what to
It's
tell
a
you, bro.
lot.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
I just don't think that defense is good. And they did have Caleb Downs, to your point, but he's a rookie, and I think he'll make an immediate impact.
A rookie that's already somehow has a vet mindset.
Sure. I just simply don't believe just him will make the worst historical defense ever. Not even a good defense, an okay defense. And that's the problem. And I think for the Cowboys to win, they're going to have to put upwards of 30 points up. And to put that pressure on your quarterback in that offense, I think it's almost like they're gearing up for that. For Jake Ferguson to come out and say, man, Dak's saying we got the greatest offense. I think he's trying to instill that confidence in them because they know how shitty that defense is. That they're going to have to put
defense is a
up
little
30.
different, though. You add a very, very good safety. It's a little different than, like, say, Cardinals drafting Jeremiah Love. You
And keep
draft
in
a
mind-
running back that does nothing for your team. This does something for the Cowboys.
And keep in mind, listen, I'll give you this. They did make those trades towards the middle end of the season when they got Quentin Williams, and they did beef up that line a little bit. So maybe that cohesion will be a little better. Their secondary. You got guys like Bland. We don't know what's happening with Diggs right now.
Yeah.
But a guy like
Diggs is
Bland.
gone.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know he's probably not going to come back. So
He's on the Packers.
oh yeah, you're right. He's on the Packers already. I'm crazy right now. So a guy like Bland, who in my opinion it was similar to Diggs,
Yeah.
and he's just a ball hawking corner. I don't think he's a coverage guy.
He wasn't as bad as Diggs, though. Diggs
No.
would let go of a lot of open touchdowns and stuff to try to be a ball hawk. Bland knows how to kind of switch it. Like, he knows how to play his part while still getting interceptions. I think we just take away that one season where he went crazy.
He does give up a lot of yards though. Bland will give up yards.
Mm.
And it's kind of like Diggs. They'll both give up yards, but they'll get you picks.
Yeah.
And that's the trade-off. I just simply don't see this defense putting Dak Prescott and that offense in a position to succeed where Dak can be MVP. I think you've heard me on the pod before talk about Dak and how I think Dak is a great quarterback.
Dak has had multiple MVP seasons. If Dak wasn't playing on the Cowboys, he would have already been an MVP. Simple.
I could see it. It depends what team you put him on, but I just really think because and you usually rarely hear this. I think it'll generally
Swap out Dak and Patrick Mahomes, and Dak has the same amount of rings as Patrick Mahomes.
Oh no.
Swap out Dak and
No,
Jalen Hurts.
No. Okay.
Dak has Jalen
Sure.
Hurts' ring.
Sure. Jalen Hurts, yes. Patrick Mahomes.
Swap out Dak and Josh Allen, and Dak has a ring with the Buffalo Bills.
What?
Yeah, bro. Yes.
That is absolutely crazy. So basically, no, stop real quick. You're saying that Dak Prescott's better than Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes?
I think that he's up there. Like he's definitely up there. Like, honestly, that game. What was the game last year where Josh had 4 picks or 3 picks in the game? Dak isn't gonna do that. Dak won't do that.
Wow. I don't think if you swap him with Patrick Mahomes, he wins a ring. I think they won those rings.
He doesn't win one?
No.
Stop.
I think
Please
they
stop,
won.
please
I
stop,
think
please
the
stop,
Chiefs,
please stop.
and this is coming from a Bronx. I think the Chiefs won those Super Bowls because they had a guy named Patrick Mahomes. That's why they won those Super Bowls.
I think for one of them, for one of them, where Pat simply had to
you have to game plan for Pat. You have to game plan for Pat.
And if Dak was on the team, you had to game
It's
plan
a
for
lot
Dak.
easier to game plan for Dak than it is
Yeah.
for Patrick Mahomes.
Swap. I'm just gonna say swap Dak out for a lot of the quarterbacks, and he has a ring.
That is so
That's
crazy
it.
to say.
That's it.
And I
Dak
think
has
that's
had
good.
multiple MVP season.
So Dak's your
seasons and
MVP.
like that. Yes,
Wow, that's very.
that's not a
interesting.
hot take. They gonna back
That's
me up in
not
the
a hot
comments.
take.
That's not a bad take. Not a bad take.
I'll say probably Josh Allen. I'll probably say Josh Allen Lamar again.
I think Lamar will come back hot. I do have a question though.
Joe Burrow. That's my MVP.
Let it go. Give me 5 teams that did not make the playoffs last year, but they can have a pretty decent season and possibly make that hump over.
Oh, that was a great transition because I literally just said his name. First, I want to start off with the Cincinnati Bengals. I kind of was high on them a couple episodes ago To your point, I like what I saw in practice. I like seeing Jamar get heated with the guys. I think the tandem of T. Higgins and Chase
Uh-huh.
is still elite. Joe Burrow looks healthy, man. He looks good. This is, I think, also the first OTA camp where he's actually playing.
Yeah.
Like the whole way through.
And
Like
he got some different cleats. He has his own cleats that are someone like Jordan 1s, but they made it so that it has a very thick sole in it. So hopefully that helps him out.
And not even that. I think their defense has finally leveled up to being average, and that's all you simply needed.
Yeah.
Their defense, and I think it's kind of like it's a Cowboys situation, which I'll get into in a second. But if their defense is simply just average and can stop opponents and hold them to 25, this is an offense that can put up 30
as long as
points
they're
per
not getting
game.
40. As long as your defense is letting 40 up every game.
Yes,
then
and I think you kind of got flamed for it a little while back, but getting a guy like Dexter Lawrence who can stop the run, which was such a problem for the Bengals, I think that's going to be massive for them. My second team is going to be the Cowboys. To your point, I think Gotti is going to inspire
they're going to
them.
go to the Super Bowl.
Not that far.
Okay.
I think if their offensive line holds, Dak stays healthy, they still have an insane offense that I think can put up points. They'll win like a game or two more than they did last year, and I think they maybe sneak into the wild card. Number 3, I got the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions, them missing the playoffs 2 years in a row would be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Their roster was absolutely decimated with injuries last year, especially on the defensive side. Defense wins championships.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are going to hear me say defense on every one of these teams because defense simply wins you championships. And the Lions didn't have the personnel towards the end of the season, and that's why they lost some of those crazy fluke games.
Right.
I think Gibbs has a huge year. Amon-Ra has the same year. And I want everybody to look out for Jameson Williams to have a breakout year. He played well last year, but I'm looking at him to really step up. He put down the McFlurry and the Whopper.
McFlurry and the Whoppers, man. He be mixing them up.
He put down the McFlurry.
You're a
and
real
the
hood
Whopper.
baby. Like a lot of the stuff that he be saying, bro, I'd be like, damn, cuz like you could just tell that man was a real hood baby. But yeah, hopefully he can do a little bit better.
4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar, Derrick Henry, that's still one of the best.
You said that in the Baltimore ass and the
Baltimore Ravens. Sorry. I think guy like Lamar and Derrick Henry are still a lethal combo in the run game, especially the power run game where they can just do the read option, the triple option. Zay's going to have a bounce back year.
He will, but I'm excited for the new rookie wide receiver also.
Yes.
I'm super excited to see him play.
And I think, to their point, I think they were adjusting to the coaching staff last year defensively with their new defensive coordinator after Mike left. Get him, Mike. You know how they called him. Get him, Mike.
Yeah.
I think now that they fully know the defense that they have to run with their new coordinator, I think it's going to be a lot more easier transition for the guys defensively. Number 5, this one is a real hot take for me. It was hard for me to put this one in. I'm looking at the New York Giants.
New York Giants made the playoffs next year?
Potentially. And here's why. Because I was struggling whether I wanted to say like the Colts or like.
No. Stay on the New York Giants. They're making the playoffs next year. Please explain.
A team that could make the playoffs next year. I think John Harbaugh is a complete culture reset. Not only do you bring in John Harbaugh, you see Harbaugh brought in some players that he's already familiar with.
I'm excited to see Likely.
They have added
some pieces.
Likely, in my opinion, could be a Pro Bowl tight end. Like that's the way I look at Likely. I think some could say he was better than Mark Andrews.
No, he was.
He was better than Mark Andrews. So listen, Jackson Dart, he in the news for other reasons, but we can't ignore the fact that he was a baller last year.
Yeah.
You're basically giving him a whole entire offseason with a coach that actually knows how to coach. Their defense isn't horrible at all. They've upgraded several key positions this free agency. And to be honest, this could be one of those scrappy, gritty teams that finds themselves 8-8 towards the end of the season. And if they win 1 or 2 games at the end, they find themselves in that wild card spot. Yeah. People forget when this team was hitting on all cylinders, they were beating the shit out the Broncos. And until they weren't.
They were.
And they beat the Eagles. Like handily, like
whooped
their ass.
That was a good game, yeah.
And there were moments where we really saw Jackson Dart as, wow, this kid's gonna be a star. Yeah. So I'm kind of just banking on that, and I think I think they added some key guys on defense, and this could be a team that potentially sneaks their way in.
That's
all I'm saying.
a good 5. I think you left out the Browns, but
Ooh, left out the
it's
Browns.
nah, it's a good 5. I want to talk about another 5 though. I want to transition this over to NBA. I want to talk about the best starting 5 in the NBA with the 76ers. Obviously, with LeBron James joining that team, we know they have Tyrese Maxey, VJ, LeBron, Jaylen Brown, and now Joel Embiid. This team will go on to win an NBA ring next year.
That's wild. Before we do start that, I do have some breaking news on the pod that I just received on my phone. Ricky Pearsall is going to be out for the remainder of the season as he does undergo his surgery for his PCL.
Let it go.
And he's not going to play for the entire season.
Let it go, man. That's supposed to be white boy Rick. That hurts. That hurts.
Does that open up a slot for maybe Stephon Diggs, or do you think Debo suffices?
No, Debo never will suffice it, but I don't think you're gonna go get Diggs. You may have to just simply look elsewhere, man. That hurts. That does hurt though.
Fair enough. Back to it. I just got the notification, so I had to. I felt like I had to let them know.
Thank you, Adam Chef.
But thank you, Adam Chef. Actually,
thank you, Adam Chef.
But back to what we were talking about. LeBron is a 76er, which is crazy. They're not winning a championship. I think that's absolutely bogus. And I think I forgot who I was watching. I was watching Will Bond or something. I was watching Willie or something, and he made a good point. Like, we can't just expect to throw together a roster and then just make the playoffs.
Oh, you can for this one. LeBron James, it's different. Like, I feel like if you were adding on, let's say Kevin Durant is not a leader of men. Kevin, chill out. Kevin Durant is someone who likes to score the ball. He's not really going to look for his other teammates, and you don't know what he's going to say on Twitter. But LeBron James is a little different. LeBron James comes into that roster, and it's not like he's looking to average 20 points. It's not like he's looking to average 25 points. He's looking to get all his guys involved. And that's exactly what he will do, especially with Tyrese Maxey and VJ. He compared Tyrese Maxey to Kyrie Irving. Not saying that he is Kyrie, not saying that he can do what he can do, but he is such a good two-way player where you have real potential. Almost everybody in that whole lineup is a two-way player except for maybe Joel Embiid. Jaylen Brown has great defense. VJ has good defense. Tyrese Maxey on defense is great. I don't know if you look into that much. He knows how to move his feet. He's a very quick defender, and he knows how to transition it to his offense. LeBron James, this is a team that you want LeBron James to be in it, except for only team I can think about who maybe would be a little bit better would be the Spurs. Other than that, this was the best option for LeBron James to go to have a real decent chance at the ring.
That I'll agree with. I think I can totally get behind the fact that you said that this is the team that LeBron joins and it's most fit to win a ring. But I just don't see it happening.
What happens?
Because so when I look at
don't say OKC,
they did fill their needs with this. They ranked 29th in assists last year.
Yeah,
which I think when you get LeBron, that changes everything with his elite playmaking ability. Assists. They average 24 assists. I expect that to go up to like maybe 30.
Maybe
30.
like 32.
Oh, that would be insane. By the way,
it wouldn't.
And 3-point shooting, they really struggle from 3 as well. I don't think they really got that much better from 3-point range. Does LeBron help them there?
It's not like you're looking at it wrong.
No,
you're looking at it wrong, man.
I don't really believe so because here's the thing. Yes, now you have Jaylen Brown. You add Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown to that mix. There's one basketball here. I'm not worried about LeBron.
It's one basketball, but it's about how the 3-point line gets more open with that happening. Because Tyrese Maxey is someone who loves to drive. VJ loves to drive. LeBron loves to drive. Jaylen Brown loves to drive. Joel Embiid, he's wherever he wants to be. Now you're leaving at least, not everybody can drive. You're leaving at least one person open. Say Jaylen Brown drives to the lane. You're saying that it'll be no help. Defenders is going to try to go help him out. So what are you going to leave Maxey on the 3? We're going to leave VJ on the 3, who's not a bad 3-point. Like, what are you going to leave open? Somebody will have to be open, man. You're not looking at it right. Somebody's going to have to be open.
I suppose. I just believe that there's, and this is actually kind of crazy for me to say. I think there's just too much talent in this starting 5 for it to work.
We said that with the Nets, and the Nets only lost because of injuries.
Who?
We said this with the Nets, and they only lost to the Bucks because of injuries. So the same thing with the Nets.
You know what? Actually, I like that. I actually like that comparison. I like that comparison.
They were more ball. You had Kyrie, James, and Kevin Durant, and I'm not all ball dominant players.
And the real thing is, I am worried about the ball dominant part, of course, but I'm also worried about the injury aspect. We know Joel's not going to play. Joel won't play a back-to-back ever this season. Neither will Bron, but Bron won't because for other reasons.
And he said he would too.
And he said he would.
You're wrong for that, bro.
I know. When he said that,
that's almost like bro. He said that he's going to be healthy and 80 says he's going to play all 82. Which one is more Which one is more or less likely to happen?
What?
That Joel Embiid says he's going to be healthy for the full year, or Anthony Davis says he's going to play all 82 games. Shit.
Oof, that's rough.
Man. Yeah, man. A
That's
lose-lose
rough.
situation.
That's
Go
real
ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
No, but it's the injuries, man. I think right when Joel gets hurt, you then lose that big man aspect of the whole point was LeBron was like, this the MVP. He's an MVP candidate. We know Joel's gonna get hurt. You and me both know.
I think
this.
it's more about Jaylen Brown actually than Joel.
It is, and Jaylen Brown was a great player. He's my prediction for MVP last year. He carried me through to get back for a couple months.
He held on to that one a long time.
He carried me for a couple months. But I thought JB fits so good with the Celtics. Him on the 76ers. I'm trying to see it, and I can see where you find the success, but I really do see how this team can fail and crumble. I just think when there's so much, and I know we hear how JB said there's going to be no ego this season. It's just going to be to win. I think it's so hard to scratch that ego when it's genuinely 5 guys in your lineup and starting that can make an all-star.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
that's cool.
Actually,
I hope you know that people know they're gonna have to sacrifice. And your bench is also great. I love when people say you have no bench. You have Dean Wade on your bench. You have Anthony Simons. You have Caleb. You have your new rookie in LeBarian. This is a great bench, bro. Like they're all the way processed. Let the process begin in Philly, man.
And you want to actually know what my biggest concern is? And this is kind of more so down the line because obviously I know it's a win now for them and they're focused on winning a championship this year. Maybe the next if Ron decides to opt in. I think this might regress VJ Echkamo. I think the reason why
I can't say that.
VJ was so awesome last year because when he was given the opportunity due to injuries, like when Tyrese didn't play, it was the VJ Echkamo show. Now, I'm not saying that they can't work together. I think VJ and Tyrese are great.
This is only going to happen for 2 years at max. LeBron isn't playing for more than 2 years, and then VJ can go back to doing whatever the fuck he wants.
I know, but can VJ really? Is VJ just going to wait and just sit there that long?
He's not going to sit. The VJ will still get his shots. You think that's what I'm saying, bro? I feel like you're talking like it's Kevin Durant. It's LeBron James.
But I'm not worried about the
Kevin.
But I'm not worried about
the
LeBron.
Bro.
But I'm not worried about the LeBron aspect.
Talking about Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
Like,
come on.
Jaylen Brown is probably the number one option on that team.
Maxey missed what 10 games 10 games last year, and VJ still put up the numbers that he had. Like it's not
with all the
change
injuries
that,
to Joel, and they didn't have Jaylen Brown or LeBron.
I guess.
And mind you, I'm saying they didn't have LeBron, but I'm not saying LeBron's going to be the problem. I'm more concerned about the JB aspect of it.
Best
when
starting
you look
5.
At,
That's it. They're
sure.
The best
on
starting
paper,
5.
on paper,
and in real life. Like when you're looking at it, it's the best team.
No.
Yes.
I think there's three
they,
better starting
they compete with OKC. They compete with the Spurs. They're the best.
OKC, San Antonio, and the New York Knicks have a better cohesion as a starting 5 than Philly does.
I know they do the Knicks, right?
And I
like in a series they beat the Knicks in 6.
And I want to see it first. I need to see it to believe it first.
Okay.
And like I said, dude, this is all predicated on injury.
Let Philly James. That's what I'm gonna say, man.
Should have gone to the Cavs.
Philly James.
Should have gone back home. And you know it.
I thought I saw you.
Let me ask you about that really quick because I do want to talk about the Cleveland Cavalier aspect because it's kind of also forced Cleveland's hand a little bit. James Harden is still not signed to a deal.
Good.
I know, good for you, but he was waiting to see if LeBron would go just to later find out that LeBron didn't want him and wanted Kyrie.
But he's still being a team player. He's waiting to see if we can get Peyton Watson, which is fair. Which is very fair, actually.
Which is fair. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Because I believe Peyton Watson right now is probably the best remaining free agent.
Yeah. And I would take it in a heartbeat, too. I would take that in a heartbeat. Yes, I would.
Would he be a starter? He would have to.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. Well,
he probably small forward.
Because I know Max Strus. So we would have Max Strus coming off the bench. You also have Tyson.
Tyson off the bench.
So what? Max is starting. How do you start?
It would be James, because I'm assuming he's going to resign. So wait till they get
James, the small forward where we can pick in, and then
Peyton Watson, and Evan Mobley, Jared Allen.
Okay, so I said like we would have 4 different forwards switching on because we also got Lee Thomas, who's will get minutes. It's not going to be another. It's not going to be another. Jokic just
Monty
doesn't play.
Bates.
Yeah, it won't be another Monty Bates game. So he will get minutes too. So we're gonna have 4 forwards just kind of swapping out, unless Lee takes on that shooting guard role.
I think the difference with Peyton Watson is Peyton Watson can play guard. I think we kind of saw it in Denver a little bit when
Can
they
he
had
play
all those
power forward?
Yeah, and that's the great thing about P. Watt. I think P. Watt is so versatile. You know what he kind of reminds me of?
What?
I think he's a better ball handler. I think he's just an advanced Jeremy Grant at this stage.
Yeah.
I think he's just
his defense is great.
Yes, he's much more athletic. He has the length.
I want him. I want him. No, it's just I definitely want him.
We saw him
great moments in Denver.
And we saw him shoot the lights out when Jokic went out and they were winning those games.
Jokic,
it was the Peyton Watson show.
Yeah.
And I think he would fit seamlessly with the Cavs because of the defense that he brings in. He can't stand in that corner and bang
we can
out.
get him, and then if we can, Harden going ahead sign back, and we'll see what we can do with that team. We'll see. Because I think our main thing, obviously, we need defense, like really bad. We need defense really bad.
Another player I want to ask you about, who's still a free agent and still, in my opinion, has plenty of ball left in him, is DeMar DeRozan. What do you think is going to happen with DeMar? I mean, he's been waived, so.
DeMar DeRozan has a couple different options. I have 2 teams in mind, and I think one of the teams is going to lead us to another conversation. I have Miami Heat, where he can be a decent piece. We don't have to pay that much to go get him. Also, the Warriors. I think the Warriors can possibly use him, as we know what the Warriors are going through right now, which I did want to get into. Draymond Green just signed a $27 million 1-year deal after not landing LeBron James, and that has left Steph Curry in some questions. So now we don't know what Steph Curry's going to do. I know they're in mutual agreement, but I don't think I've ever heard Steph really talk like this over an offseason, where he's really contemplating, like, hey, do I leave? Like what do I do? So I think if you can at least go get DeMar, maybe another bench piece, then you'll have Curry some security for Curry.
Let's play the hypothetical game. I like that. To your point, I think Golden State's on fire right now. With the whole Steph Draymond thing. I think Steph
selfish, man.
Steph needs to get out of there.
Steph does, but where does Steph go?
I personally, what I'm about to say, I like it for Steph. I don't like it for obviously me or my team. I think him on San Antonio would probably.
What would that trade package be?
I think if you can cultivate a trade package that includes, De'Aaron Fox,
right?
You're gonna have to throw in a young player, so Carter Bryant. I know, and 2 firsts.
That hurts. I know. Mitch loves Carter Bryant,
and you're gonna have to throw in 2 firsts, and then you get
36-year-old Curry, who's about to be 37.
See what he did in the Olympics.
That was 2 years ago. He was 35. 35 compared to 37 they changed with also.
Yeah, but did
injuries.
You see him play this year? He still got it.
After he came back from injuries,
he still got it. And I think too, you say coming back from it. I think. Listen, I'm not saying that Steph wasn't injured, but all I'm saying is I think now Steph with Wemby, with all those other guys, because that team will still have a plethora of amount of talent. I think that takes so much pressure off of Steph, where Steph won't really be putting his ankles in a position to get hurt like that.
Yeah,
Steph can simply now. And not even that. I'm also looking at the pick and roll, pick and pop aspect with Wemby.
No, I have a question, because this is almost like the VJ type of situation. What does that do for either Stephon or Harper? I have to wait from at least one of them.
I think it does nothing, because you get rid of what I think was hurting both of them, and that was Fox. I think
you're adding on Steph Curry, a more ball dominant player.
Yes, but I think Steph, to your point, at this point in his career at 37, I think he's just going to be that lights out shooter that is also going to be a great playmaker. Dylan Harper probably going to have to man up and be your. Let's say this happens next season. Let's say next season, not now, because it probably won't happen this year. You're going to assume that. Yeah, you can't put one of them
because now you're taking away minute, because they already said that Fox will start the games, which is kind of crazy, but they want Harper to finish the games off, which is also kind of crazy.
Also kind of crazy.
So now you're going to take away Harper's finishing minutes, where he is very effective.
I think Harper would respect it so much more if it was a guy like Steph. Yeah. And I think it's so much easier to digest when you know. If you put it this way, if it was Steph instead of Fox in the playoffs, San Antonio's sitting on a ring right now, and it's undeniable. It's not even like a question that we're asking. It's a certainty.
Fox had a Knicks jersey on. You're right.
So if you flip that out with Steph, who's now doing pick and pop with Wemby, and then now you have the element of Now they have to guard up
They
the
would have a
3-point
ring.
line.
They would have a ring.
It would be insane. So I think that would be a team. You alluded to a really good team that I kind of
The Heat?
liked. No,
Who?
when you said Charlotte, I actually kind of liked that.
Go back home. I know Charlotte. They have kind of rebuilt their whole team. I think hit with Nas. Their lineup still isn't bad. You get to play with Khan, who's a baby Curry. I wouldn't be upset with it. I really would not be upset with that team because we know Steph knows how to play with other shooters. We know that's never been a problem.
100%. So I think either he goes back home, or if you really want that ring, man, go to San Antonio. I think they have a package that could be put together. And I think Wemby already took a pay cut, but I think Wemby would be like, oh, I got to take another one.
I'm just so glad Bron didn't go to the Warriors, bro.
Oh, 100%.
I would have died. I would have died seeing that happen. But other than that, man.
I do want to talk about two more things.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about two more things really quick. I want to talk about a scary word in the NBA that a lot of people kind of freak out about, that I kind of have a prediction here. The second apron. The dreaded second apron that everybody talks about. There's only one team currently in it right now, and it's the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
The league is going to have to figure out a solution for the second apron in the next coming years, in my opinion, with how the league is working out.
I think Cam Johnson already somewhat figured it out a little bit.
Yes, I was going to get to that. My question to you would be, if a team were to draft their own talent, if they were to draft their own players, do you think that their contract, their salary should fall under a different tax bracket and not fall under the second apron?
It should, because how am I going to get punished for being a great someone who knows how to draft really good? You're going to punish me for that? It makes no sense.
And I
agree.
I agree. And I think, too, because they also changed the tank rules, it's not like these teams are tanking. I think now, like when you look at teams like Spurs and OKC that did tank for a couple of years to get those picks, now that can't be done anymore, you have to reward teams for drafting well.
Yeah.
I think it's almost unfair that small market teams can put together these teams with such a great amount of talent, right, and then have to forfeit them up 2-3 years down the line because of this second apron. Lastly, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's been a year and a half in the making of when I said it. Kawhi Leonard might actually be banned from the NBA.
Bro.
He might actually get banned from the NBA.
So the Raptors are basically declining the trade. And now, where is Kawhi going to go? What happens to Brandon Ingram?
Home? This is so crazy. I remember when we posted the clip of me saying Kawhi's going to be banned from the league forever, and I was getting
asshole.
I was getting Hancock. They were treating me like I was Hancock. I was getting absolutely berated. And I think it's just funny now. I knew that this was going to happen. Not that it would take this long, or not that it would materialize like this.
Bro, I think you had this spew since last year, bro. You knew it was going to happen.
I called the NBA office and told them something. But nonetheless, what do you think is going to happen with this Kawhi Leonard situation? Because when you and me originally talked about this trade and talked about it for the Raptors, we were talking about the Raptors as a potential top 3-4 team in the East.
Yeah.
And now this trade may not even happen, which shakes up kind of everything.
This hurts, especially for the Raptors. Like, it has really serious if they don't want it, because they know what this would do for their team right now. I mean, Kawhi's coming off a great year. Great year. I mean, he played crazy last year. For them to be declining this, that means it's so much more serious. That they know some stuff that really has not got out to the league yet. And that just leaves you like I said, what happens with the whole trade? Like, what does Brandon Ingram just have to go back after they basically just let him go? That's not a good taste. Not a good taste at all. So we really don't know. We have no clue where this is going to go at all. No clue.
And another thing is the aspect of it shaked up the East, because the East has been like a seismic earthquake this entire offseason. It's been just fly from the Sixers to the Knicks re-signing some of their guys to just a bunch of this stuff. It now leaves this huge hole on, okay, well, who's 3 and 4? I mean, we really kind of don't know right now until this Kawhi Leonard situation resolves itself, I guess. It's just going to be interesting to see how long this goes into, especially after hearing that it may go into the season. How does Silver kind of handle this? I wonder if he just kind of we might see a veto for like the first. We might see a veto for the first time since Chris Paul to the
Wow.
Because he might just have to shut off the trade entirely to start the season.
Yeah.
You got to make the schedule soon. You got to know if Kawhi's going to be on that team or not.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make the schedule, you might have to bite the bullet and say, you know what? This trade has been vetoed. Cancel it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Kawhi.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if he'll veto a trade like that. We haven't seen a veto in a long time.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to be like his father, and he's going to have to be like General Palpatine and bite the bullet and veto a trade. But nonetheless, we got ball coming in 2 weeks. We have NBA starting to materialize itself, and we'll talk about
great offseason. Great offseason for both.
Come on now.
Great offseason.
Great episode. I'm Damian Dustin.
Aiden Jones. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.
Let's get wild.